Hello, everyone. Hello, Dahlia. Hello, Abby. Hello, Rayan and Lakshit. How are you? Hello, Tanvihul, and hello, Rayan. So what are we going to learn today? I don't know, Tanvihul. That depends on what people ask. I don't prepare any lessons, Tanvihul, because if I did that, then no one would pay me for my lessons. So I don't actually prepare any lessons for you here. What I do is answer questions. So if you have a question, then I can answer that. Or I can try. But I can't teach for free if I also teach for pay. Hello, Yoselin. You don't need to say sorry. I'm just explaining. Cassie says, why can I understand you but not others? I get that a lot, Cassie. There are a few reasons why. One is because I speak a little bit more slowly on purpose. Okay? I'm deliberately trying to speak more slowly and clearly. Okay? That's one reason. Also, I try to enunciate all of my words very clearly, right? You can see my mouth is moving a lot. That's because I want all of my words to come out very clearly. Then it's also because I'm a teacher and I deliberately use simple, easy, clear language. So I'm trying not to use a lot of slang. I'm trying not to use a lot of words like gonna, wanna, coulda, shoulda, things like that. right? I do use those occasionally, but not very often, and usually it's clear enough that everybody still understands. And then another reason why is because I'm using a really good microphone. And so the audio quality that you're hearing is the highest audio quality that you can get. This is the same microphone that they use on TV or radio broadcasts. So I can say it's a Q&A session. Yes, it is a Q&A session. That's what it says. English Q&A session. Yeah. Yeah, Q&A means question and answer. Flavita, hello Flavia. Yesterday I asked you about a Brazilian document because I'm trying to enroll to an exchange program to study at Penn University in July. Well, good luck with that, Flavia, but I would recommend that you do be very careful and pay attention to the politics right now, and I think you should talk to somebody at Penn University about that. They should be talking to anybody who's coming to the country now. I'm sure they have some specific things to tell you or to inform you or warn you about. So it's maybe not the greatest time, but I'm not saying don't, but I am saying make sure you get all the information, okay? Hello, Noradine and Nadia. No, Lakshit, I can't talk to you a half an hour every day. I'm going to stop my life every day, a half an hour just to talk to you? What world do you live in? Who can do that, man? Nobody can do that. No, don't dream things like that. No, that is not the solution. If you want to improve your language, that is not the way. I know that would be easy, that would be nice, but it's not realistic at all. Okay, Lakshit? No, I have a lot to do in my life, Lakshit. I barely have time to do this. So I definitely don't have time. I have 88,000 followers, Lakshit. They all want to talk to me for a half an hour every day. Lakshit, I am here teaching every Monday through Friday. I am here for an hour and a half teaching as a teacher. I'm not some guy. I'm a teacher. That's my job. So it would not benefit everybody if I just talk to you for 30 minutes. But you can come watch and listen just like everyone else, and I promise you, you will learn. I have been on this app for 12 years. I have been live streaming for 5 years. I've done over 1,200 live streams. Okay, so no, I can't teach you for free. But I can teach everybody. Okay? Hello, Carlos. Can I explain the meaning of the ripple effect? Sure. That's a word, or that's a term that's often used, that it's, sometimes we call it the butterfly effect. But the ripple effect, it's basically, it means like when you throw a pebble, you throw a little tiny rock into some water, and that will cause a ripple, which will go outward and affect everything around it. So it's the continuing and spreading results of an event or action. Okay? So what it means is any action that you start and there are continuing actions that happen after, those are the ripple effects. Okay? So if you do something and it causes a bunch of other effects, those are ripple effects. Okay? How can someone at the B2 level reach so Tanvahul, B2 is the most common place for everybody to feel like they are at a plateau. And the reason why is because B2 is a really big neighborhood. Each of the levels of language are like neighborhoods. A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. But B1 and B2, those middle neighborhoods, those are the biggest neighborhoods. So you can learn, A1 is a small neighborhood, so you can get to know it very quickly. Oh, I know this neighborhood. I know that house. I know those people. Right? But B2 is like Tokyo. So it takes a lot longer to get to know Tokyo. All right? How can you train your mind to think in English? Did you read my article about that, Nadia, yet? Did you read my blog article about that? I have a blog article about that. I'll give it to you right here. The Complete Guide to Thinking in English. There it is. Copy that, paste it, go to it. You'll have to subscribe to read it, okay? But it's free. You just have to subscribe and then you can read it. Okay, now, if it's hard for you to understand, just copy it and ask ChatGPT to help you understand it. It will. Okay, it can translate things for you. It can make it more simple for you. Okay? Yeah, you're welcome, Nadia. Yeah. I'll tell you what. I'll give you a quick rundown of the 4 steps to thinking in English. Okay? So, step 1 is what I call baby English. Baby English means simple English. All right, so babies don't know anything about grammar, so forget about grammar. You don't need to think about grammar right now. Babies think about what they want, what they like, what they don't like, what they don't want, what they need, what they don't need, and how they feel. That's it. That's all babies think about. I like this, I don't like this. I want this, I don't want this. I need this, I don't need this. I feel tired, I feel happy, I feel sad, I feel hungry. That's all babies do. Now, is that hard? Is that hard? Anyone? Is it hard to just think something simple like, I like ice cream. I don't like, tacos. I love tacos. Right? Not hard. Not hard. Right. It's not hard, but you don't do it. So this means that you're missing opportunities to practice English. Every day you're missing opportunities, simple opportunities, that all you need to do is stop thinking in your native language and change those thoughts to English. So tomorrow when you are hungry, can you think that in English? Tomorrow when you like something or don't like something, can you think that in English? That's all. It's not hard. Okay? It's very simple. You're starting the process. You're trying to teach your brain how to think using English. Start simple. Okay? So, I feel tired. I feel happy. I feel sad. I feel hungry. Easy. I like this. I don't like this. I want this. I don't want this. That's it. That's step 1. Okay? Step 2 is what I call Curious Kid English. Curious Kid English is between the ages of 5 and 12. Kids ask a lot of questions. So many questions. Who's that? What are we doing? Where are we going? Why? When? How? Kids ask stupid amounts of questions. They ask questions all day. Why? Why do children ask so many questions? That's evolution. That's evolution. Children are vulnerable. Vulnerable. It means that they are easily hurt. They're children. They can be hurt easily. They're vulnerable. Okay? So when you're vulnerable, you need to ask questions so that you are safe. Because you don't know things and you are vulnerable. Okay? So kids ask a lot of questions so they can learn about their environment. You need to ask a lot of questions so you can learn about your environment in English. So everywhere you go, you should ask questions to yourself in English and then answer those questions in English. So if you're at the store, look around, say, who do I see at the store? Oh, I see the boss. I see the workers. I see my neighbor. What are they doing? Oh, the boss is talking to the worker, and the worker is putting out the milk, and my neighbor is buying bread. Where is the store? Oh, it's down the street and 2 blocks to the right. When does the store open? When does it close? Why do people go to the store? Ask the questions in your mind and answer them in your mind. Okay? That's the biggest part of Curious Kid English is that. Okay? Then there's another part of Curious Kid English. Kids, they start to learn the difference between baby language and adult language, right? So kids are living right here in this neighborhood, but there's baby language over here. They don't want to sound like a baby, so they don't say mommy anymore. They say mom. They don't say daddy anymore. They say dad. They don't say yummy anymore. They say yum or delicious. So they're looking for new ways to express words, adjectives, mostly, right? They're trying to learn better adjectives to describe things, okay? So instead of just big, you can say it's huge, it's giant, it's enormous. That's what kids start learning in that area of 5 to 12. They start learning a lot of adjectives. All right? That's step 2. Step 3 is identity English. Identity English is high school level English. High school kids want to talk about themselves. They want to tell the world about themselves. So that means you need to be able to express yourself about simple topics like your family. Can you think about your family completely in English? Can you describe everybody in your family in English in your mind? Can you think about your friends? Who's your best friend? Where did you meet? Why do you like them so much? Right? Can you think about your hobbies and your interests? If you can think about them, then you can talk about them. Do you see how that works? If you can think about it, then you can talk about it. But if you wait until somebody tries to talk to you, and now you're trying to think about it for the first time, you can't talk about it. So thinking is language practice. Thinking is language practice. Thinking is language practice. Okay? So that's step 3 is identity English, which means trying to talk about family, friends, work, hobbies, interests, goals, dreams, past, present, future, traveling, all of those things. Simple topics. Okay? And then finally, step 4 is adult level English, and that is very difficult, advanced English. We're talking about college level English, where you're discussing topics like economics and religion and philosophy and history and politics. That's a very difficult level of English. So don't worry about level 4. Start worrying about 1, 2, and 3. All right? Those are the most important ones. All right? Hello, Mona. It's good to see you, and I've missed you too. And I have been worried very much about all the people over there, and I do hope things will be better soon. I've been trying to check on some of my friends, but I haven't heard from them. Unfortunately, I know that the internet is spotty right now there. Okay, let me check the comments and make sure I didn't miss anybody. Hello, Yulia. Hello, everybody. You're going to have a job interview tomorrow for teaching at English for Kids. Good for you, Carlos. Most important is being able to keep the children's attention. Some advice. Yeah. So this is a classroom job, right, Carlos? This is not teaching online, right? You're live in the classroom, or are you online when you're doing it, Carlos? It makes a big difference. Online, okay. Well, that's a little harder. What age is it, Carlos? Did you say that? What age? Reem, I'll get to you in just 1 second. Please be patient. Let me please try to finish with Carlos, and then I'll get to you. Okay, so... Whoops, wait a minute. Sorry, Carlos, wait 1 second, please. Four ahead. What is that? Is that like babies? You mean like 4 and above? Four and older, Carlos? I'm not familiar with 4 ahead. What is that? 4 years and older. Okay, so Carlos, yes, keeping their attention is one of the hardest parts, and it's a lot easier if you're in the classroom, but if you're teaching English between the ages of 5 and 12, 4 and 13, whatever, that age, yeah, 50% of your job is being a teacher, and 50% of your job is being a clown or a comedian. Yeah, that's how you keep their attention, right? So you have to be funny, So I used to draw funny pictures on the whiteboard, and I used to make voices and do funny jokes and stuff like that, and we'd have lots of fun games. Games. You need to know a lot of games. Carlos, send me a private message. I have a couple of books with games in them that I can give you. Okay? You don't think you're funny? Well, kids are different, man. You don't have to be funny like adult funny. You got to be funny like kid funny. Walk into the door on purpose, If you just walk into the classroom and accidentally walk into the door, they'll laugh, man. You do silly things. They're just silly. You don't have to be crazy funny. Just be silly. Okay? I used to look at my students when they were being bad. If my students were talking, whatever, something like that, I would look at them and I would say, "Hey, you! And then I would do this. And they would laugh. They'd be like, Teacher Mark is gonna, I'm obviously not going to do that. They know I'm joking, but it's just funny, I'm just joking with them, you have to build a little bit of a comfort zone for them, and humor makes people relaxed. Okay, so humor is a really good way to get people comfortable for learning, because you have to get them to relax. All right? Okay, now, Reem, I'm sorry. With the meaning of gestures, when you say everyday gestures, well, that depends. I need more context, Reem. Gestures can be many, 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 many different things. A gesture could be this. I'm gesturing with my hands right now. Waving is a gesture. This is a gesture for stop, okay? If I do this, it's a gesture for, like, help, right? Okay, so gestures can be, body motions can be gestures. But a gesture can also be something that you do for someone, right? So if maybe you're a new neighbor and you moved into my neighborhood and you just moved in, so I'll bring over some cookies, or something as a gesture of friendliness, of welcome, right? So it's a gesture of welcome, or a gesture of friendliness, or a gesture of kindness, that kind of a thing. So gesture can be a few different things, meaning like some nice thing that you could do to show someone some feeling. Okay? Okay, next question. Let's see. Hello, everybody. Hello, Tanya. And again, if I don't answer your question right away, please be patient. It's not because I don't see it. It's because I'm busy answering someone else's question, and I'll get to you as soon as I can. Hello, Rafael. How are you, my friend? Hello, lucky girl. Yes, thinking is language practice. Your brain is a language practice room, and you just don't use it. So you have a practice room that's supposed to be used. It's that the purpose of your mind is for practice of thoughts and ideas. And those thoughts and ideas can happen in any language. So it's a language practice room. Okay? Oh, let's see. Hello, Waleed. I'm okay. Is it true that replying to someone with yeah or yes, sir is rude? No, it depends on the situation. If I'm talking to someone who I respect, then probably I will use more formal language when I reply to them. So if my teacher says something like, "Did you bring your assignment with you?" I'll probably say, "Yes, I did." Not yeah. But if my friend asks me, "Hey, do you want another beer from the bar?" maybe I'll say, "Yeah." Okay, so yeah is a very casual way to say yes. So casual words should be used with casual places, casual environments. Okay? Yes, sir is formal, very formal. But it could be rude if you're using it sarcastically, right? So if my teacher says something to me and I say, "Yes, sir," I probably mean it respectfully. I mean it really, like, "Yes, sir, I did." Okay? But if somebody that I don't respect is telling me what to do, then maybe I will say, "Oh, yes, sir." And I'm joking. I'm being sarcastic. I'm telling them, "I don't listen to you. You're not the boss of me." Okay? Hamza, how to learn. Come, watch, listen, learn. Ask good questions. That is how to learn. Okay? What does I'm pleading with you mean? To plead means to beg. To beg. I'm pleading with you. To plead. Okay? Let me see the original meaning of plead. Plead. Plead comes from Old French. Before that was Middle Latin. Placitum, meaning a lawsuit. Yeah, so it's kind of funny. Wait a minute. The original meaning of plead is still used: to plead guilty in court, to plead not guilty in court. It's a judicial term. It's for courts, right? But there's a second meaning that happened later that means to beg someone, right? So pleading with someone means to beg with someone, to beg to someone about something, okay? Reem, that happens, and I understand. Okay. If someone says something to you, do I say yeah or yes, sir? I will say whatever is appropriate for that moment. I might say yes, I might say yeah, I might say yes, sir, depending on the situation. Okay? Exactly. Right. Waleed's got it. Yes, sir, I will do the job on Monday. But then, yeah, dude, that was fun. That's informal. That's right. Monday through Friday, Ayub. Yes, roughly this time. Ayub, I live in Cincinnati, Ohio. That's the same time zone as New York City. Okay, so it's New York City time. All right. And I'm usually here Monday through Friday, somewhere around 9:30 or 10:30 in the morning. Today I started around 10:30, a little bit before 10:30, I think, today. So, yeah, that's usually when I'm here. And then I also have a YouTube channel. All of my Hello Talk streams, this Hello Talk stream is on YouTube right now. So you can actually watch me on YouTube, and there's no time limit over there. So some people do that. Flavia is over there watching me in my YouTube. But that also means that when this is finished, you can go watch this again. So if you didn't hear my answer and you want to hear my answer again, go watch it on my YouTube right there. All right? I also have a website, and on my website you can study English for free. Almost every free link that I could find to study English is on my website. All right? I went online and I tried to find every good resource for reading and every good resource for writing and listening and speaking and grammar and vocabulary. And they're on my website. Okay, it's free. You just have to subscribe. It's free. You just have to subscribe. All right? And finally, I have a blog. And my blog is where I write most of my best answers. Okay, so if you want my best, most complete answers, then you should read my blog. Okay? All right, if you don't know who I am Teacher Mark. I have been here on Hello Talk for more than 12 years. I have over 88,000 followers around the world in every single country. I've been streaming here for more than 5 years. I was the very first streamer on Hello Talk. And yeah. Agung, if you want to buy lessons from me, you can buy lessons from me on my website. I give private lessons that you can pay for on my website. And I know everybody wants to talk. Everybody wants to just practice, right? I get that. I know. But it's not a good use of my time just to help one person practice. It's a good use of my time to try to help everybody by answering all of their questions. So that's mostly what I do here. All right? I do sometimes bring people on stage and try to talk to them and help them directly. Okay? Depends on how I'm feeling that day. If I feel like talking to people, then I'll talk to people. If I don't, then I don't. Hello, MJ. How are you? Привет. Okay, I'm waiting for your questions. Do you have questions about reading or writing or grammar or vocabulary? What are your questions? Hello, Dana. How are you? Something is sniffing. To sniff, Carlos, is this. I'm sniffing something. Like dogs, you know, when dogs are, right, they're sniffing around for something. That's to sniff, okay? How can you learn more difficult words? A thesaurus. A thesaurus, Waleed. Use a thesaurus. Okay? Or you can ask ChatGPT to help you with this, like a thesaurus. So, you can do, well, let me show you. I'm just going to show you. Just wait a minute. Let me write a prompt. Okay. Let me share my screen. Take a look at this. I want to demonstrate for my students how you can help them with their learning of new synonyms and their proper usages by letting them provide you with a word they know and then letting you suggest other words that would also work well. Okay? Boom! Okay, so let's see. Ah, the word happy. Here's the word happy. Here's the word happy. I know the word happy. Can you suggest other words that could replace happy in different situations and explain how each one is slightly different? Ah, sure. You could say, I'm not happy, I'm pleased. But what does pleased mean? It means mild, calm happiness. Content. I'm content. Oh, that means satisfied or peaceful, but no excitement. Okay? Or a stronger emotion is I feel joyful. That's deep, expressive happiness. Delighted. That's happiness that's caused by good news. I'm delighted to hear that. Okay? Glad. It's short, friendly, conversational. If you tell me, I passed my test, I'll say, well, I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that you passed your test. Okay? Cheerful, right? Look, and now we can try the same sentence. Does it work or not? I'm glad you're here. That's natural. Good, yeah. I'm relieved you're here. That works, but it's a different context. Right? Now we're saying, I was worried before, but now I'm relieved you're here. Okay? I'm thrilled you're here. Strong excitement. I'm content you're here. No, that doesn't work. Look at that. Look how easy that was. Okay? Look how easy that was. All right? So all you have to do is just ask ChatGPT to help you with it. All right? Thank you, Ayob. 今天what? 老师今天好笑一个啊？什么是好笑？ I look so small today. 我？为什么？ Okay, and please be patient. I'm trying to get to all the questions. Thank you, MJ. Hello, Scaras. When I was listening to the Family Album USA, there was a sentence, it's crowded in here. You thought it's crowded in here is correct. 都可以, 都可以. It's crowded in here just means, well, it's crowded here could be anywhere, right? Maybe you're at a market outdoors, outside. You're at a park. You're at an amusement park. That could be crowded outside. But if you're inside, then you'll say it's crowded in here. Okay? 都可以. All right? 人山人海. I always like that one. People mountain, people sea. These shoes are horrible for running, she said, sniffing. Does it mean like grumbling? Wow. I'm gonna guess that it's more like these shoes are horrible for running. Like a facial gesture that's like psh. Like that kind of a thing. I'm guessing. I think it's not a good choice at all. The word sniffing in that context seems very odd to me. If the internet gets cut off, how to handle that? I have no idea. I don't know. What does it mean to say when someone says, I'm a veteran? I'm a veteran means that you were in the military. You served in the military before, but you don't anymore, usually. You're retired now, but you were in the military before. I was hiding in the corner. Oh, okay. Yeah, both are correct. Yeah. Hamza is saying how to memorize. I think you mean antonyms and synonyms, not anatomy and synonyms. Antonyms and synonyms. Antonyms means the opposite, and synonyms means the same, right? Hamza, I don't teach anybody to memorize anything. I teach you to learn words, to learn them, okay? But to learn them, you need to study them. Here is an article that you can read about that. Oh, I see. When I share my screen, I'm so tiny. Oh, I see that now. I understand. I can't see that on my screen. That's not what it looks like. So that's why I was confused. Now I understand. Hello, Giuseppe. How are you? Thank you. Oh, that light is a little too bright. Let me turn it down. All right. Ayub wants to come talk to me. Let me talk to Ayub. There it is. Hello, Ayub. How are you?
Oh. Hey, Mark.
How are you, my friend?
I'm good.
Good. And you are in, is that Ethiopia?
Yeah, it's in Ethiopia.
Okay, great. And what city in Ethiopia are you in?
The capital city, Addis Ababa.
Ah, great. All right. And what can I do for you today? How can I help you?
Actually, I'm here just to learn.
Okay.
And you are, yeah.
Do you have any specific questions for me?
No, I don't.
Okay. All right. Well, tell me this. What's your biggest problem with English?
You know what? Living in country that not most people speak in English, you have no place to just practice. So, yeah, you know something. You can talk a little bit, but you cannot improve. And over time, you lose interest like that.
Okay, so let me ask you this. What are the different ways that you can practice language? How many ways are there to practice language? Reading, that's one way, right? Reading is one way to practice language. Writing, that's another way to practice language, right? Speaking, listening, those are ways to practice language, right? But there's another way to practice language. What's the fifth way to practice language?
I think it's using digital technologies like this.
Nope, it's not that. It's using organic technologies like this. Thinking. Thinking is the number one most important way to practice any language. So, Ayub, I live in the United States, but I can practice my Chinese every day, anytime I want, anywhere I go. How do I do that?
Yeah. I don't. I have no answer for that.
I just think about everything that I do all day in Chinese.
Yeah, that's good.
So if I want to eat, I think about eating in Chinese. If I need to go to the store to buy things, I think about it in Chinese. I can practice the language and I can keep the language alive and I can learn and I can find all the things I know how to say and don't know how to say. And I can figure out how to make language practical. Practical, because it's about your real life. You're looking around and trying to think about real life with English. So, the reason why most people fail at language is because they don't learn how to think in that language. They know how to translate. That's not what you're trying to do here. We are not trying to translate everything in our head from one language to another. That's not how language works. No, what you're trying to do is teach your brain to use that language so that you can speak that language in your mind anytime you want. Okay? And then it's like a baby,
Yeah.
right? When you're a baby, you don't know anything. So everywhere you look, you're like, what's that called? And what's that called? And what's that called? And what's that called? That's what you need to do in English. Just when you're walking around all day. Just do that. And anything that you don't know, write that down. That's your homework. Okay? Now, how does this keep your interest? I'll tell you how this keeps your interest, because when you're studying a language, usually you're studying it like it's something that you're learning that's outside of you. It's not really connected to you. It's like a skill, right? But this is now, you're learning a practical way to use this in your real life. When you start thinking in English, you'll start to figure out how to use this language in your real life. That's practical. And that's why you'll be interested. Because now you can actually use the language when you look around with your eyes. Your language is there. Okay, so I can flip a switch in my brain. I can flip to Chinese, and now I can try to think in Chinese. When I look around and see everything, I can just think about it in a different language, and that's good practice. Okay, is it better than speaking to a native? No, maybe it's not better than that, but it's good. And when you practice with a native, you're nervous because you're shy and you're embarrassed and you don't want to make any mistakes. But in your mind, there's nobody there but you. So you can make as many mistakes as you want. You don't need to be shy. You don't need to be embarrassed. It's an open, free practice room where you can feel comfortable to learn. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's what you need to do, is start spending more time every day thinking in English. So tomorrow, start trying to think in English more. And if you don't know how, write it down.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Okay?
That helps.
Yeah, that's the secret. That's the biggest thing that they don't tell you about language in any of the books. I've never seen it written in a book yet. It's funny because it's so obvious when you say it. Of course, thinking is an important part of language. Of course it is. It's really important, right? But they don't tell you about it in any books. Why don't they tell you about it? Because they can't. It's thinking. You can't talk about thinking. You can't teach about thinking in a book. Thinking is something that you have to practice yourself, right? So it's a very difficult thing to teach. So they just don't. They just leave it alone, right? But that's the reason why I studied German for like 3 years in high school. But I can't remember any of it, really, not much. Because I learned how to read and write and listen and speak, but I did not learn how to think. So I had no real ability with the language. Because if you can't think in the language, you can't really play with it. That's the key.
Yeah.
If you can think in it, you can play with it. And if you can play with it, it's fun. And now you want to keep doing it. Okay? That's the key. All right, Ayub? Can you hear me, my friend?
Yep.
Okay, good. All right. Well, Ayub, I'm going to let you go, my friend, so I can talk to a few other people here. But it was nice to talk to you, and please make sure you come back and see me again sometime, okay?
Yeah, thanks very much, Mark.
You're welcome. Take care, my friend.
Okay, nice.
Bye-bye. All right, let me go back and
Okay.
check the comments here a little bit. Tell me about your teaching experience. Okay, very quickly. I started teaching in 1994. I started teaching English in 2009. I have my TEFL certificate. I've taught in foreign countries before, or a country, and I have been on Hello Talk for over 12 years. I have been live streaming for over 5 years. I have 88,000 followers here. And I like to teach. Okay. If you can't apply the language to your everyday life, then why learn it all? That's exactly right. That's why I think this is such an important part of language, because language feels much more boring and sterile and outside of you when you're just studying from a book, when you're just learning the words they tell you to learn, when you're just doing the activities they give you, then it's not that practical to you. But when you start applying thinking, now you basically can apply it in the most practical ways to you and your life. Okay? How do you keep it continuously, Waleed? That's just discipline, man. Discipline is a skill that you must learn. You can have it, but you can lose it. You're welcome, brown sugar. How can you correct yourself without lying to yourself? So, Waleed, when you're thinking, it's not necessarily about being perfect. It's about feeling comfortable with the words and playing with them. If it doesn't work or if it's not perfect, you'll figure that out later. It's okay, man. All right? There are some things that when you learn them, you don't have to have the right answer the first time. All right? It's better if you don't. Because what will happen is you'll learn more if you develop that answer. All right? So what I'm saying is if you think something and it's not the right thing, that will happen sometimes, and it's okay. Because you'll figure it out. You're not learning the wrong way, you're just playing with it. And when you find out the right way, you'll adjust. That's the way learning is supposed to be. You don't have to get it right the first time. You can try and try and try again. All right? And then if you make a mistake, that's okay. Mistakes are good. Mistakes are how you learn. I promise you, I have made more mistakes than all of you combined. Hello, Gabriel. How are you, my friend? Good to see you. Hello, Marco. Thank you very much. So how did I come up with this system? I'll tell you how I came up with this system. I have been learning Chinese for many, many years. And I was living in Taiwan for about 4 years, 4.5 years. And then I had to come home for a visit, and then COVID happened. And I got stuck here, and I couldn't go back. So then I said, oh no, now I'm stuck here, and now I'm going to lose my language because I can't practice it every day. I can't hear it every day. I'm not living in that country where I can hear and speak that language all the time. Oh no, I'm going to lose it. But then I remembered I'm a drummer. And guess what? Drummers, we practice drums all the time. Up here. So I can think drums anywhere, anytime, anywhere, anyway. All right? And I thought, if I can think about drums, then why can't I think about Chinese? So that's how this works. Okay? Excuse me. Let's see. What's the difference between talk and speak? They're the same and they're different. Speak is more formal usually, and it's referring to the act of making words one way. So if I say he is speaking, that's not a conversation. There's no two people there, right? That's just she is speaking in front of the class. Okay, she is speaking on the phone. Okay, so that's one way. All right, but talk is usually more informal, and it usually implies a conversation. Okay, it usually implies a conversation. That's part of the difference. You can also say, let's see. So, like for example, in formal situations, you'll say the CEO will speak to the board, or the CEO will speak to the company. Okay, that's a formal situation. He's not going to talk to them. He's going to speak to them. Okay, but my friend, if my friend needs some help, he'll talk to me. Okay? All right? So there's one difference, is just the formality. Okay? Speak is usually one way, talk is usually two ways. Speak is we use the word speak when we're talking about the ability to speak a language, like she speaks French, he speaks German, he speaks Chinese, right? But talk, you can't use the same, you can't say she talks Chinese or he talks French. That doesn't work, okay? And then telephone. May I speak with Sarah? May I speak with this person? It's usually the formal way we'll ask for someone, okay? And teachers or professors will lecture. Lecture implies, it implies that somebody is usually in authority, and they're teaching you something or telling you something. It's usually for learning, but it also could be for authority, right? Like maybe your mom or your dad they're mad at you about something. You're not studying for your tests, so they're going to lecture you, right? Okay, but we also say the word lecture when you're in college and you go to a class where you listen to the professor, like me, talk all day. Lecturing. Say. Let me see here. Say is focused on the content of the words that are spoken. What did she say? What did he say? He said this, right? She said hello, right? So say is more for the content or the words, right? To report what somebody said without saying who. Without saying whom. Sorry. Yeah. It requires an object. You need an object for that one, right? So you say, what did she say? She said hello. Okay? What's the difference between quiet and silent? Sometimes nothing. It depends on the context, right? The room was quiet. The room was silent. Same thing. Okay? Tutor and teacher. Teacher, every tutor is a teacher, but not every teacher is a tutor. tutor is usually a private teacher. A private teacher is a tutor, right? So if you take a class, then you have a math teacher. That's your math teacher. But at home, maybe you need some extra help. So they pay somebody like me to come to your house, or maybe online, and you do extra work with a private teacher. That is a tutor. Okay? How to write the tasks for the IELTS exams. That takes a lot of practice, Yan. But if you go to my website, on my website, there are many, many, many IELTS links. You can go to my website and find many links about studying for the IELTS test. Okay, but Yan, I would say that you can use DeepSeek and tell DeepSeek, please help me practice writing tasks for the IELTS exam every day. Just every day, use DeepSeek to do a practice writing question or two. Okay? Silence is golden indeed. How can you remember new words quickly? Cassie, words are just like people. So let me tell you this. If I come to China and I'm walking down the street and you're walking down the street and you see me and I see you, but that's it. We just see each other. Okay? Are you going to remember me for a long time? No. You'll probably forget me that day. You'll probably forget me that hour, right? You just walked by me. That's it, right? But if you walk by me and I wave and you wave, you might remember me for an hour or two, right? If I stop and I say hello and I shake your hand and I say, hi, my name is Mark, nice to meet you, you'll remember me for another week or so, maybe. If we go out and have lunch and we talk to each other, you're going to remember me probably forever, right? Well, guess what? That's exactly how words work. If you spend time with words, you will remember them. If you don't spend time with them, you won't remember them. That's it. Okay? That's the most basic thing. And that's why memorizing doesn't work. Memorizing does not work. Let me show you what memorizing is. Memorizing is like you have the word in front of you, right? The word is microphone, right? You're trying to learn the word microphone. So now you're going to just stare at that word and you're going to say microphone, microphone, microphone. And you're going to write microphone, 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 microphone. And you're going to say the definition again and again and again. That is memorizing. And what that is you're hoping that you remember. You're basically looking at the paper and you're saying, please don't forget that word. Please, please, brain, don't forget that word. Please remember it. I'm begging you, please remember. That's not learning. That's not learning. That's not how learning works. You don't just hope to remember. If you want to know something, you must get to know it. If you want to know a person, you must get to know that person. If you want to know a word, you must get to know that word. So let's talk about the word microphone. What does a microphone mean? What is a microphone? What is a microphone? Do you know what the first microphone looked like? What does micro mean? What does micro mean? Micro. Micro. Anyone? Yeah, micro means small. And there are many words in English that use micro. Microphone, microscope, microscopic. Okay? It means small, right? Then what does phone mean? What does phone mean? What does phone mean? Not telephone, no. The word micro and phone both come from Greek. Greek, Shilawen, okay? And in Greek, the word micro means small, mikros means small, and the word phone means sound. So microphone means small sound because you couldn't hear them. So guess what? Let me show you what the first microphone looked like. Yeah, this one. Take a look at this. This is the first microphone. That is the first microphone. That's what they used to do. If you were hard of hearing, you can't hear well. Grandma can't hear. So grandma would stick this in that was called an ear trumpet. Ear trumpet. An ear trumpet was the first hearing aid. That's right. It was a hearing aid. It's a hearing aid. That was a microphone. That's the first microphone. Okay? And now you're going to remember this word. You're going to remember this now because now you say, wow, look at that. That's funny. I didn't know that microphone was this thing, an ear trumpet that you stick in your ear. So look what happened. You now got to know the word. You know the word now. You know where it comes from, right? If you meet me, you're going to say, where are you from? I'm from the U.S. Ah, where is this word from? It's from Greek. It's from Greek. And what does it mean? Well, the micro part means small, and the phono part, phone means sound. And why does it mean microphone? Why is it small sound? Because the first microphone was a trumpet. It was a thing you stuck in your ear to help you hear. And now you're going to remember the word microphone. Now, was that harder or easier than memorizing? Was that harder or easier than memorizing? And now you know why I don't memorize. All right? Now you know why I don't memorize. Because it's a lot easier to just spend time getting to know the word. Get to know the word. And guess what? You're lucky because so many English words are like this. So many English words have an interesting background. Not all of them. Not all of them. But many, many, many English words have really interesting backgrounds. Okay? All right. Yeah. Well, Waleed, that's just you. It's the same with meeting people and memorizing their names. You associate a story or interesting details about them. That's right. Yeah. Marco, there's actually, there's a theory about this in neuroscience. They talk about the palace theory of learning, or the palace theory of remembering. And the palace theory is a theory in memory that your brain doesn't remember information unless it has a location. If you give it a location, your brain will remember it. And the reason why is because evolution. So if you see a tree and you go, oh, I remember that tree. I need to know that tree because if I don't know that tree, then I'm lost. So things things are attached to location much more strongly in your mind, right? That's the palace theory. So this theory is that when you're learning something, like you're learning a new word or you're learning some kind of information, when you finish learning it or while you're learning it, you need to try to imagine taking that information and walking into your palace, into your house, and putting that information somewhere in your house. So if you learned some new word like microphone, I want you to take this microphone and put it in your house somewhere. Where are you going to put it? Are you going to put it on the kitchen table? Or are you going to put it under your pillow in your bedroom? Or are you going to put it on the chair in the family room? The point is, if you think about this piece of information and you try to connect it to a location in your mind, that actually makes you remember things much, much more strongly, because your brain always wants to remember locations. It's evolution. Okay? Flavia, yeah, I did you see my answer, or did you hear my answer, Flavia, if you're still there? I did answer you earlier. I just don't know if you heard me. Send me a private message about that, Flavia, okay? If you're seriously trying to come here, then please send me a private message and I'll see what I can do to help you, okay? Hello, Goulston, how are you? How do you manage listening, writing, and speaking practice? Is there any strategy for it? Yeah, the strategy is make a plan. If you write down your plan, then you have a plan. If you did not write down your plan, then you have no plan. This is one of the biggest things that students do wrong. If you didn't write it down, it doesn't exist. That's what you need to remember about plans. If you did not write them down, they do not exist. So, did you write your plan down? Did you write your plan down for writing and listening and reading and speaking? Okay. The palace theory is a theory of memory, Waleed. It's a memory theory. You can search it online. You have a plan, but you could consider a lot before writing. Well, you're supposed to consider a lot before writing. But, yeah, I think maybe you... I always forget. Right. I tell people that you should write a diary, write a journal every day. Because a diary and a journal is not writing that you think a lot about. I don't want you to think about it. I just want you to write. Okay, so write how you feel. Write what happened to you. Write anything that's just quick. Don't try to fix it. Don't try to make it pretty. Don't try to make it perfect. Just write. That's very important. Some writing that you can do, yeah, you can try to make it perfect and sit down and really make it perfect. But some writing, you should practice feeling free and not restricted by rules. Just write. Just play. Don't worry about the rules. Okay, so that's why I think writing a journal is great, or a diary is great. Because a diary and a journal can be anything. It can be anything you want. You can write how you're feeling. You can write what happened to you. You can write a story, a poem. You can write song lyrics. You can write anything. Okay? Right. Create. That's what I mean. It's like a form of creative writing. But it's a creative writing about you, so it's easy. Yeah. Anurag, I do not think about learning like that. If I have 3 hours, how do I manage speaking, writing, and listening? I can't answer that because every single student is different. If this student, if their problem is writing, then they need to focus on writing. If this student's problem is listening, then they need to focus on listening. Okay? There is no one way that works for everybody. I never give answers like that. Ever. I never tell people, you should spend 1 hour every day on writing and 1 hour every day on reading. And no, I don't do that. You know what we say in learning? I'll tell you what we say in learning. Real men don't count. That's what we say in learning, okay? Real men don't count. We don't count how many hours we studied. We just study. Okay? Is there any platform that pays you to write articles or stories? You mean me? Or that, yeah, there are lots of platforms that pay you to write articles and stories, but it's harder. It's much harder now because of AI. It's much harder now because of AI. But there are plenty of them. Sure, just do a Google search for that. The best trick or strategy for learning a language is learning how to think in that language, Diego. All right? So, once again, I'm going to give everybody a couple of articles that you should read. This article you should read. This is How to Think in English. The Complete Guide to Thinking in English. And this is How to Learn Vocabulary. And this is The 8 Parts of Language. If you read those 3 articles, I think that you will know a lot more than you know now. All right? Let's see. That's right. Your skills are different. That's right. Yeah. You understand some of their words, but you don't understand others when you speak. Why is that? Are you talking about my words? Or I think I know what you mean, Diego. You mean you understand me, but you don't understand others, right? Students are overusing what? You mean AI and ChatGPT? Yeah, sure, but that's they'll figure it out. You know, if you use ChatGPT to cheat, then you're just cheating yourself, and we will figure that out. It will become obvious that you don't know what you're talking about. Very soon, very, very soon, it will be obvious who is cheating and who is not cheating. You know? So you can use it in a way that's academically moral, ethical. There is a way to use AI that's completely ethical, but there is another way to use AI that's not. Okay? Let's see. Like I said, Anurag, I can't really tell you how to organize it if I don't know you. All right? That's really... I cannot tell you if I don't know you, all right? But you know you. That's my point, is you know you, so you need to be like a teacher and think about, well, what should I do? What would be the best for me, all right? Every teacher is a student, and every student is a teacher. Is it easier to study grammar by watching TV series or movies? It's not easier to do either. You must do both. All right? The easiest thing is to do all of them, Gulson. If you have two people and one person, they both are climbing a mountain, all right? Two people, they're both climbing the same mountain. One person has nothing with them. Nothing but maybe they have a walking stick. All right, they have a walking stick. That's all they have is a walking stick. But the other person has a walking stick and a map and a GPS unit, and they had a guide who helped them and taught them everything, and they watched videos, and they have an app that shows them all the trails. Who's going to learn better? The person with just the walking stick or the person with every tool available? So, learning is not an act of efficiency. Learning is an act of proficiency. Nobody should be trying to learn faster. Everyone should be trying to learn better. All right? What does gaslighting mean? Gaslighting is when somebody did something bad to you and they're saying, I didn't do anything wrong. You're just blowing it out of proportion. You're just being a baby. I didn't hurt you. You're just being a baby. Nothing happened. Why are you so upset? I didn't do anything wrong. But they did. That's gaslighting. Okay, it's a form of lying. And Inez, I will not have you tell anybody how to be quiet here, all right? Inez, that's not your place. Okay? If you're suggesting that she just listen to me, then there is a better way to say it. When you just say, just be quiet, Gulson, that sounds rude. And I don't allow that here. Okay, Inez? All right? Are we clear? My language is pretty clear and obvious, but others are not. For example, actors like Will Smith. Yeah, Will Smith, sometimes he speaks well. Sometimes he is too desperate to be cool. He's Will Smith. He's supposed to be cool all the time. But nobody is, one, and most of that is just fake. So, I think it's kind of an act. It's kind of an act, sometimes. Sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. That's right. Learning is an act of proficiency, not an act of efficiency. When I try to learn, I'm not trying to get there faster. I'm trying to get there and know everything. Do you understand the difference? If you climb the mountain one time and you get there and you got there fast, great. You climbed that mountain once and you know it because only once, right? You climbed it one time. So if you climbed that mountain one time and you got there quickly, do you know that mountain? Do you know that mountain? You only climbed it once and you got to the top as quickly as possible. Do you know that mountain? You do not know that mountain. So, are you trying to get to the top or are you trying to know the mountain? Are you trying to get to the top or are you trying to know the mountain? All right? Waleed, yeah, that's kind of like gaslighting. That's kind of a form of gaslighting. Sure. How's my friend? You mean Clay? I haven't seen Clay in a long time. Yeah, we kind of lost touch with each other for a while here over the holidays, and I talked to him a few weeks ago, briefly, just in a text message. I'll reach out to him and see. Maybe we'll see if we can get together here again sometime in the spring. Hello, Islam. How are you, my friend? Sometimes you think the most important problem is the correction of words. Well, sometimes you're wrong. Sometimes the most important problem is not the correction of words. Okay? Okay. Okay, I don't just talk to people. I don't just talk to people. I am a teacher. If you want to talk to me, you must have questions. Okay? You are welcome. I run the show here. I'm the one who tells anybody about their behavior. Only me. That's why it's Teacher Mark. I am the teacher. This is my classroom. You are in it. I run the show. Okay. Everybody wants to talk to me. Just understand. Everybody wants to talk to me. I have 88,000 followers. They all want to talk to me. Okay? But why do I have 88,000 followers? Why do 88,000 people come and watch? Well, they don't, but some do. They come and watch because there's something to learn here. There's something to learn, all right? So, don't just worry about, can I practice speaking? Can I practice speaking? Can I practice speaking? Can I practice speaking? That's not always the most important thing. Sometimes it's better to just listen. That's why you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, because listening is twice as important as speaking. Thank you, Linda. Thank you. Now, Islam, I will talk to you because Islam is my friend and Islam has been watching me for a long time. Islam, would you like to come talk to me for a minute before I go? Because it's time for me to go. How can you learn grammar more effectively? Julia, grammar is tricky. I'm going to give you a few tips that will help you. One is a fun website you can go to that's just called Games to Learn English. .com. GamesToLearnEnglish.com. That is a free website, and it's nothing but games for English. It's games about grammar and vocabulary, and games about past tense and present tense and conditionals and time and prepositions and adjectives and adverbs. It's all there, okay? So GamesToLearnEnglish.com. And then also there's a book. So I have many grammar books, but I don't like most of them. There is one that I do like a lot, and it's called Basic English Grammar. And it's by a company called Saddleback Publishing. Okay? Basic English Grammar by Saddleback Publishing. They make a book 1 and a book 2. Okay? President, if you are new, then you can come back next time. Okay? If you are new, you can come back next time. I'm here Monday through Friday. All right? So come back and watch and listen. All right? Thank you, Vadim. Always good to see you. Okay, guys, I need to go. President, I've been here a long time. How long have you been on Hello Talk, President? How long? I have been here for 12 years. 12 years. 我不会说中文，为什么你问我这个问题？ 3 years. Okay, well, I have been here for 12. So, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I have been here for 12 years and I will be here. So, come back and see me again. All right? All right. Now, I have been here for 1 hour and 38 minutes and it's time for me to go. I'm going to go have some lunch now. So, have a good morning, have a good afternoon, have a good evening, wherever you live. Don't forget, make sure you go to my YouTube channel. There's my YouTube channel. There are hundreds of videos on my YouTube channel that you can watch. If you can't see me now, go watch my YouTube channel. And there are so many videos with me answering questions about English, grammar, vocabulary, reading, writing, listening, speaking, everything. It's on my YouTube channel. If you don't go watch, don't complain. All of the answers that I have are on my YouTube channel. Every answer I have is there, but you have to go watch it. All right? And then I have a website. There is my website. And if you go to my website, it's free. You can subscribe and study English on my website. There are so many free links on my website to study English. And if you want to buy lessons from me, you can buy lessons from me on my website also. And I also have a blog, and there is my blog. All of my best answers about English are on my blog. If I have an answer, I give the best, most complete answer there. All right? So, follow my website, follow my YouTube, follow my blog, and come back and see me next time. All right? All right, guys. Bye, everyone.